All right. Good morning, everybody. Today is Daf Yud Beis. Daf Yud Beis Maseches Chagiga. So we're going to continue, I guess, with the discussion of. Actually, we just left off with a quick line. Probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 lines on the top of Yud Beis and Aleph. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, right? Is that where we left off? Adam Arishon, Misayfa Olam, Vatsafo. Oh yeah. So Adam Arishon.
Thank you. This mine.
Adam Arishon, right? He was from one end of the world when he was created until the other end. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, the Menayam Shebra Lakim Adam Ala Aretz Ulamiksei Hashemayim, Va'aksei Hashemayim. So he says he was one edge of the heavens to the other, and then so that was. We actually saw this yesterday. Pasha does line yesterday. Kevan shesarach. So once he sinned, then Hakadosh Baruch Hu Yodolov Ubiyato. Hakadosh Baruch Hu placed his hand upon him, and he shrunk him down to size. Shneimar V'teisha alai. And then so the pasuk says V'atoshes alai kapecha. So it says, then he placed his hand upon him. So Yachi Kasha Krada. If that's the case, by the way, if you look at the pasuk, one pasuk says it was from the Oretz to the Shemaim. The other one says it was from one edge of the Shemaim to the other. So Yachi Kasha Adadi. So I Divyadi Chachiru. So each one, it's the same shear. It's the same shear from heavens to earth as is from one edge of the heavens to the other edge of the heavens. Fine. The Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Now we're going to go into a bunch of Gemaras. Yeah. That was a repeat of actually what we said yesterday. So now we're going to go through a bunch of Gemaras, which I will translate. I'll read and translate, but there's obviously several, deeper meanings, whether it's the mystical meanings or other meanings, but they're beyond the scope of the shir. So we'll read through the Gemara. So Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, Asar Dvarim Nivru B'Yom Harishon Be'Elohein. There were 10 things that were created. The Gemara is going to go through on the first day. B'Yom Harishon Be'Elohein, Shamayim V'Aretz, Sovavo, right? That's another 2. That's 4. Or V'Choshech, 5, 6. Ruach Umayim, right? The winds and the waters. And Midas Yom, Midas Laila, right? And then the nature, the time of day and night. Now, Shamayim V'Aretz Dechsiv. First, the pasuk is going to go through and bring each one that we see was created. So Shamayim V'Aretz Dechsiv, Bereshis Bara Elokim Es Shamayim Es Haaretz. Right, so that was created on the first day. Sovavo Dechsiv Haaretz Haisa Sovavo. Right, and the land was Sovavo. Or V'Choshech. So where's the Or V'Choshech? So Choshech Dechsiv V'Choshech Al Pnei Tahom. It says darkness was on top of the Tahom. And Or Dechsiv V'Yar Elokim V'Yor. And Ruach L'Mayim. The pasuk says, "V'Ruach Elokim Merachevas Al Panei Hamayim." Right, it was hovering above the water, so we see the water was around, and it was the Ruach, so therefore the Ruach was also there. It says So all those were created on the first day. So now let's get into it a little bit. So Tana, To. What is this Tovavo? Right, we normally touch it sort of like nothingness or Tova. Right, so it says Kav Yorok Shemekif Es Kolim Kulo. Right, it's like a green line, I guess, which surrounds right the world. So from there, the darkness comes. Shneimar Yashis Chayshach Siso Sivosa. Right, that the darkness comes from around it. And Vohu. Right, so Vohu. What's the Vohu? So Elu Avanim Hamifulamois Hamashikos Batom. Right, these are different stones, right, that are basically stuck down into the depths, into the abyss, right? Shaben Yaitzimayim, from them waters come out. Shnaras Pasuk says V'Nata Ale Kav Tov Avnei Vo. Right, the stones of Vohu. So you see that the Vohu are stones that are basically sunken down into the abyss. V'Or B'Yom Rishon, right? And you're telling me the light was created on day 1. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu placed right the sun and the moon and the stars right in the sky. And that was the day 4. So our answer now, because Rabbi Elazar, like Rabbi Elazar, or Shibara HaKadosh Baruch Hu B'Yom Rishon, Adam Tzofa B'Yom Misayfa Olam V'Yad Sofa. Right. So the light that was created on day 1.
It was different light.
So Adam Rishon was able to see from one end of the world to the other. And Kevan HaKadosh Baruch Hu and HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that in the future, the generations of the Mabul and all the Dora Flaga, right, when they wanted to go ahead and basically wage war against Hashem, Hashem Maisim Nikukolim, he saw that the Maisim were bad. Their actions were bad. So Amar V'Gnazim Shinamar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu went and took that light and put it away. And he hid from the Rishayim. He hid the light from them. Well, and who did he conceal it for? Who did he put it away for? The tzaddikim liyasi lavo. For the tzaddikim in the future, Shemar, as the pasuk says, "Vayer Elokim as or kitov," and he saw the light kitov. Vein tov el tzaddik. And we know tov is a reference to a tzaddik. Shemar imru tzaddik kitov. They say about tzaddik. A person who's a tzaddik kitov, that he's good. And came and shara or tzaddikim sameach. And once he said the light was put away for the tzaddikim, right? Liyasi lavo. Then he was happy. Shemar says, or tzaddikim yismach. Right? The light tzaddikim yismach. So we discussed this or was created on day one, or was it the real or not? So there were answers kitanai or Shibarak Kodesh Baruch Hu Rishon Adam Seifel Mabi Meisaf Ha'olam Seifel. Right, the light that was created on day one, that was Adam Rishon was able to see from one end of the world to the other. Div Rabbi Yaakov, Spini Rabbi Yaakov. Achamim Hey Ma'arash Sheni Rabbi Yom Rishon. But Islo Ad Yom Revi. Says no, these were actually the lights.
Why they were postponed until Wednesday? The Ayir al-Aretz, because the grass already was there, so they had to activate it. So Hashem waited till Wednesday when the grass were already in the tree, and then he activated.
All right, could be. But according to the Chamim, right, that light wasn't the special light that was put away. Rather, that was the standard. That was the light of the sun, moon, and stars. However, those were created day 4. So the light and those were created in the world, but those weren't set into the galaxy and set into the sky until day 4. And Omar Rav Zutra Bar Tuvia Omar Rav V'Asar Dvarim Nigaila, right? With 10 different Dvarim, I guess, attributes or ways the world is created. The Chachma, right, with wisdom, with Tfuna, right, with insight, right, with Das and understanding is to know underneath. The Kayach, with strength. The Giva, with rebuke. Gvura, right, with might. The tzedek, righteousness, the mishpat, justice, the chesed, right, with chesed is not charity, the kindness, right, rachmim, and mercy and compassion. The chachma tefuna. So now we're going to bring the psukim. We'll bring each one. That there was some sort of creation with some of these attributes. So it says chachma tefuna. The chsiv Hashem b'chachma yasar aretz kaden shemayim b'tefuna. So he says with chachma he created the earth and he established the shemayim with tefuna. Right, so and medas, the chsiv medas ta'imas nivko. Right, the Thomas the depths were created with das. The kayach gvura the chsiv meichin harim the kaycha nazavek gvura. Right, so he created the mountains with kayach and also with gvura. So we see with strength and with might and benara with rebuke. The chsiv says amudei shemaim yirafu vismehu migarasa. It says that we'll soon see this passage a little later also. That the pillars of the Shemayim, right, they were made right through Migoroso from his rebuke. But Tzedek Mishpat, the Chsiv, possibly has Tzedek Mishpat, Mechon Kisecha, right? He establishes his kisei, his throne. But Tzedek Mishpat, V'Chesed Rachman, the Chsiv Zachor Rachamecha Hashem, V'Chasedecha Kimei Elam Hema, right? Remember your Rachamim and your Chesed, right? Because that came from you. That was how you created the world. The Amrav Yudamarav Shashak HaKadosh Baruch Hu Esailam Haya Marchi V'Hailech Krishtei Pakia Shes. When he created the world, like the heavens and earth were like almost like running away from each other, like two like threads going away or rolling away from one another. Right? They weren't in unison. So Ad Shegabra HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ba'amida until HaKadosh Baruch Hu rebuked him and put them together. Shinamar Pasuk says. Amudei Shemayim Rafu Yismehu Migarasa, right? That the Amudei Shemayim, the pillars of heaven and the earth, they are all placed together through his rebuke. What does it mean? I so Anihu Shamarti Leilam Dai, right? The word, right? It's a play on the word. I'm the one who told the world enough, right? Enough fighting, enough separating the Shemayim Aretz. You will be in unison. And Amar Shtagish B'Shah Shebra Chodesh Baruch Hasayam. Once again, the seas were also similar, right? They were marchi v'hoilech. They were spreading out, right? Ad shebar kadosh baruch hu v'yiboshu, until HaKadosh Baruch Hu basically rebuked him and then basically dried it up and stopped him from continuously going. Shemar the says, "Gar b'yom b'yavashev b'chol naros yerchi." Right? It says he gave Gar b'yom. Right? He rebuked the sea and he dried out all the rivers and they and also the rivers and also the sea. Taner Rabban, Beishamayim Shemayim. So Beis Shammai says the Shemayim Nivra B'Chila was the Shemayim was created first, and afterwards was the land. Shnamar Pasuk says Bereshis bara Elokim. It says Shemayim Esaretz. You see, Shemayim came first. Beis Hillel says no. Eretz Nivras Techila. No, the land was created first. Afterwards, Shnamar B'Yom Asos Hashem Elokim Eretz V'Shemayim. It says over there they created Eretz V'Shemayim. So the land was first, right? The first the land and then the Shemayim. So according to you guys, I understand what you're saying, right? We have the Aretz is here and the Shemayim is on top. So according to, the Shemayim is like the attic. Well, you're going to make the attic before the first floor, right? This makes sense, right? Obviously, the land should come first and then Shemayim. The Pasuk says, so the Pasuk says, right, he established, right, the Shemayim basically as its attic, as its upper floor. So if its attic is the upper floor should come second. So the Beis Shammai, the Beis Hillel, according to you, Adam must shafraf ve'achar kisei. But according to you, Hakadosh, a person makes the footstand right first before his chair. Shnamar, the pasuk says, "V'amar shemayim kisi va'aretz hadim ragli." Right, the Shemayim is Hakadosh Baruch Hu's seat, his throne, raglai, and the land, right, is the place for him to place his feet. Right, this is footrest. So what, you're gonna make the footrest first before it doesn't make sense. You make the throne first, then your footrest second. So the Shemayim come first, and the Aretz. They're made together. Yadi Yisada Eretz v'Yamini Tavcha Shemayim. Karneliam Yamdu Yachtav.
Is the moon considered to be in the Shemayim?
Yeah, that's part of the.
Oh, it's in the.
It's all the same. Rakia Shemayim. But soon there's going to be 7 different layers. We're going to get to that. We'll get to that. But that's all the same. So Pasuk says, no, he created all together, right, with his right hand, right, and he measured out, and he says, Karnei Alem, Yomdu Yachtav, right, they will stand together. So v'idach ma yachtav. What does it mean? Yachtav deloy mishtalfim yadadi. Right. In other words, they're yachtav. In other words, they not necessarily they were created together. One each Beis Hillel, Beis Shammai, each argue one before the other, but they don't leave one another. Kashikarai yadadi. But nonetheless, we still have the machlokes before, which was the Shemayim first, the Aretz was first. Samarish Lagas. Shenibro bara Shemayim v'acharkas bara haaretz. Ukshenata nata haaretz v'acharkas nata Shemayim. Says no. When they're created, the Shemayim was created first, and then the Aretz. But when they were placed in this world, then the land was set first, and then the Shemayim. So in other words, each one was right. Each one has a Samai Shemayim. And what is Shemayim? Right? Amar Rav Yasi bar Chanina. What's the word? Sheshamayim. Right? That there is water. Shemayim. It's like the water of the heavens. Sheshamayim. And Masisatana, Eshamayim, right? Not Shemayim, but it doesn't come from Shamayim, but Eshmayim, right? Eshmayim is like Shemayim. Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Tarfan Zebezev, Yasam and Rakia, that he took water and fire and put them together, and that was sort of how he created the heavens. Shal Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Kiva, Kshay Malchim B'derech. So yes, Rabbi Kiva. You Mashamish, you certainly learned by Nachum Ish Gamzu. Chavei Shana for 22 years. Shaya Darish Kol Es Shabbat Torah. He darshan every Esem Torah. Es Hashemayim V'Saretz Maya Darish. How did he darshan the 2 Esem in Es Hashemayim V'Saretz? So Amalei. So Ilu Nemas, as he said, Ilu Nemas Shemayim V'Aretz. If it just said Bereshis bara Elokim Shemayim V'Aretz, Hayisi Aimer Shemayim Shemash HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I would have thought his name was Elokim Shemayim. And he created the Aretz, right? So so Shemayim Mamish, and Eretz, Aretz Mamish, right? So it says each one, his name was not Elokim Shemayim, rather he created the heavens and the earth, and therefore each one. So therefore there was S, and then S to Aretz Lamali. So turn the page, top of the page, you're based on base. S to Aretz Lamali. So why did it say Es Aretz? Lahakdim Shemayim Aretz, to tell you that the Shemayim came before the Aretz, right? So then it says over there that the land was Solavo. So Mechli. But Shemayim is Kabaresha, so Maishna de Kachashim, Ma'asaretz, right? So they started off Rishis Bar Elokim as Hashemayim Vesaretz. It says Shemayim first, then Aretz. And then the next pasuk starts going into the Aretz. It was describing the Aretz. Why didn't you describe the Shemayim? If you create the Shemayim first, why didn't you describe the Shemayim, first? So he says, so Tana debate Rabbi Shmuel. So mashal l'melech b'asar v'dam, shamar l'avdav. So it's basically a mashal to a king of flesh and blood. Shamar l'avdav. So he told the servants, hishkimu lepischi. Guys, tomorrow morning, everyone, rise early and come to my doors. So hishkim matzah nashim. He found everyone there, not just the normal men who were there, but even the women. Shalami shabeach. Right? Who does he praise? First, whoever is not normal way is not to get up that early and to be there, and then they got up there early. So too, I guess that since it wasn't normal, the derech of the Aretz, so therefore the Aretz was praised first, even though the Shemayim, came first. And Tanner of Yaisi Omer, Oy lahem lebrios sharois v'ena yodas maros. So woe is to the creation that they see. They don't know what they see. And Amdas, they know this. And woe is also the people who stand around and they don't know what they're standing on, right? They just think they're standing on the earth, on the ground, and the ground is, the foundation of everything. But that's not true, right? So what does it mean? So haaretz amai omed. So what does the earth stand on? Alamudim, right? That stands on upon the pillars, right? The earth is held up, or the land is held up by the pillars. Shamar hamargis eretz v'mkaima v'moda yis palotzu. So it says over there that he shakes the earth from its place, and the pillars tremble. So that the earth is on the pillars. And the modim alamayim, and these pillars are upon water. And it says over there, right? Excuse me, l'roika haaretz alamayim. So it says over there that the earth is upon the water. So you see the pillars on the water, and mayim al harim. Then these waters that the pillars are on, those are on mountains. Shinamar al harim yamdu mayim. Right, the mountains stand on water, and harim baruach, and these mountains, right? They stand on water, and also and alam. Excuse me. So the water is on the mountains, and harim baruach, and these mountains are on the ruach, right? On the spirits, on the wind. The Shinamar, the pasuk says, "Kine yoitzer harim uvarei ruach." Right, he formed the mountains, right, and he created the winds and ruach besara. And the winds are upon the storm, this Sa'ara, right? It's like the storm. Shinamar ruach Sa'ara said devaro, right? It says the wind of the storm does his words, right? And Sa'ara tluya b'zara shakadosh baruch Hu. And this Sa'ara is basically handing on the zara shakadosh baruch Hu. Shinamar, as the pasuk says, umitachas zarais olam, right? Underneath the zarais olam. So in other words, underneath the Yisara is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? Is upon the hands, the Zerah of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Al Shnemasar Amudim Omedes, right? Upon 12 pillars of it's standing on. That was the pillars we mentioned earlier. There are 12 of them. Shemar, the pasuk says, Yetzev Gvulois Amim Lemispar B'nei Yisrael. So it says over there that the referring to the pillars, that they're the amount of the mispar, the number of Bnei Yisrael, which is the Shvatim, 12 Shvatim. Yeshem Shiva Amudim, some say there are 7 pillars, Shnamar, Chatzva Amuda Shiva, right? That it was carved out 7 pillars, and Al Amud Echad, it was on one pillar, but Tzaddik Shemo, and its name is Tzaddik Shnamar, but Tzaddik Yisrael Olam. So the pasuk of Tzaddik Yisrael Olam is referring to this one pillar that the world is standing upon. And Amar Rav Yehuda, Shnei Rakim Hay. Hey, there are 2 heavens. Shneimar, Hey La Hashem Elokecha Hashemayim Ushmei Hashemayim. So it says over there, right? To Hashem is the Shemayim, right? Is the heaven and the heaven of the heavens. So it sounds like 2. Reish Lakish Amar Shiva. Reish Lakish says there are 7. Now we're going to go through them. Veluhein, Vilon, right? Vilon is like a curtain, right? A cover, right? A sheet, right? Vilon, Rakia. Right, Rakia is the sky. Shchakim, right, is the area we'll soon see where they grind, it's a mill. Zvul, right, where it lives, where they reside. Ma'on, right, is an abode. Machon, and Aravos, right, and those are other areas of the different levels of 7 heavens. That's it. Vilon and Mashamish Klub. In the Vilon, really, it's nothing. Rather, this cover basically it covers and uncovers. right? It comes in during the morning, and it goes out in the night. And therefore it's mechadish by separation. So I guess this vilon, right? This cover comes in and out in order to let the sun shine down, and then the sun goes back. Shnamar, as the pasuk says, Hanoite chadok shemayim vayim tachem ka'ohel l'shemes. It says over there that he spreads the heavens like a thin sheet, like a thin curtain, and like a tent that they live in. And rakia, and what is rakia? The next one, shabo chama ulavana kachavim azaz fluim. Right. So they ask in terms of the sun, moon, stars, the sun, moon, and stars. So those are in the second level. The second level is where the sun, moon, and stars are. That's where they're kavesh. They were placed in the rakia. So rakia is where these luminaries, right, with the sun, moon, and stars, are all existing. Shchakim, and what shchakim was level 3. Shabo rechaim omedes. There is a rechaim. There's a mill that's there. The taychanas man tzadikim.
This is
going up. It's going up and up and up. Right. Right. Yeah. The vilon was the lowest one. Right. So now the next one is the shchakim, like this mill, right? That they used to go ahead and it would grind man. Right, the man that they eat in the liver, tzadikim. Shemayim pasuk says, "Vayitzav shchakim ma'al, but dalis shemayim pasach v'yimater alehem man lechol." Right, and it says over there, and it was grinding up in the heavens, and it fell upon them, right, the man for them to eat. Zvul, and what was the zvul? Level 4. Shabo Yushalayim u'beis hamikdash mizbech banuye. So these were we discussed the Beis Hamikdash, Yerushalayim, Shalmala, right? So all these things are all in this fourth level. Michael Asar Hagadol Aymin Makriv Alem Karban, and Michael, he is one of the angels that are up there, and he's offering karbana. Shnamar pasuk says, "Bana banisi by Beis Lach Machal Neshivtecha Olam." So it says over there that in the Zvul, that's where he's offering. We're going to be seeing that's called Shemayim. The pasuk says, "Habeit mishemayim rei mizvul kachecha v'sivartecha." So it says over there, if you go ahead and you look into the Shemayim and you see that from your zvul, right from the residence, that's where your tiferes, your glory is, and your splendor. Ma'on is the next level, right? Level 5. Ma'on shabo kisa shamache ashares sha'imras shira b'layla. That is there's groups of malachim or angels that are up there. They're singing shira at night. But they're quiet during the day. Because the covenant of Yisrael, Shemar, as the pasuk says, Yoimam yitzaveh Hashem chasdo v'layla shira imi. So it says over there, and during the day Hashem will command them, right? And this night will be the shira with me in heaven. So the shira goes on and the Shemaim in the evening, but during the day, it's the chesed. That's what belongs to Yisrael. Amaresh Lakish, Kol Eisek B'Torah B'Layla. Whereas Eisek B'Torah at night. Hakadosh Baruch Hu Mosheich Alav Chut Shel Chesed B'Yav. Hakadosh Baruch Hu will give a place of chesed during the day. Shneimar, the pasuk says, Yoima Yitzav Hashem Chesed. That Hashem will command His chesed upon him. So, and why is that? Umatam Yoima Yitzav Hashem Chesed. Why? What is the reason why Hashem commands His chesed to be on him during the day? Because at night His shira is with him, the Torah is with him. So therefore, one who learns at night, right? This is not talking about what we were just discussing. We were talking about the malachim, right? The malachim saying shira, and only the other night, and the Yisrael during the day, right? But over here, it's referring to it's all referring to people. Rather, it means that you'll get chesed during the day if you say shira at night, you learn Torah at night.
Wait, shira, it's not right. That's what David
it says over here. It says. Hulayla shira imi. So one shot is that the shira imi means if a Jew shiro imi, right? The person does his shiro, and now he does Torah at night, then it'll be a yom of chesed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu pays him during the day. Version whoever is Isaac B'Torah in this world, which is similar to night, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give him chesed, right, in the world to come. Which is similar to today. It was compared to today. The pasuk says, Yoimam Yitzav Hashem Chasu Uvalayla Shiro Imi. So it says over there that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will command, right, his chesed upon him during the day, and at night his shiro will be with me. So the one who does at night, who does Torah in this world, he will have chesed in the day in Olam Haba. Amar Levi call Paisek b'divrei Torah v'asi b'divrei sicha. Whoever stops right from divrei Torah and is Isaac, and he begins to discuss words of sicha, right? Stam gossip, right? Machilin Isaac gachle resayim. Right, then he will be consumed by coals, right, by burning coals. Shinamar, the pasuk says, all right, hakoitfim maluach ale siach the sheres rusamim lachlam. So it says those over here who basically uproot their words for siach, for sicha, for regular stam gossip or talking, then their root will be consumed by these the burning coals. And now we know that we were talking about this ma'on, right? It was level 5 was for the Shemayim, Shamar, right? Hashkifa mimon kashacha min hashemayim. All right, so there's lighting. All right, so we see over there that one who goes as a person who looks down, right, from your ma'on, right, from your which is in the Shemayim. So we see the ma'on is in the Shemayim, and the next one is machon. So the next one is machon is a 6th level. Shabo otzos shelag otzos barak. Right, this is that's where the shelag, the snow is stored, and the hail, the lias talayim, royim, the lias agolim, and also the storehouses is full of bad dew, right, and other types of water, right, damaging water. The chadar shel seifas ara, and also of winds and storms. Mara shel kitor, in a cave of kitor, right, of other vapors and other waters. So same ancient, his doors are fire. Shnei says, "Yiftach Hashem l'cha." He shall open you his oitzer of goodness. So he says, if there's an oitzer of goodness, there's an oitzer of bad. So therefore, this is the oitzer of bad. So verse says, "Hani berakidis nu." What these things are stored in the heavens? Hani baradis nu. What do you mean? I thought they're in the world. See, the pasuk says, "Haluas Hashem mina ares taninim echot hamos." Praise Hashem for the taninim, the big sea creatures, right, and all the hamos in the depths. Eshuv warad shelag v'kitor ruach sara oised devaro, right, and all these things, right, all these things we just mentioned. It says Haluas Hashem mina aretz. So it seems like they're in the aretz and they're not in the shemayim. So what do you mean that they're in the shemayim? They're in the 6th level of heavens. We see that they're in mina aretz. Some Rabbi Yehuda Baram, no. David because really they're originally in the heavens. And David was mavakesh rachamim for mercy for them to be placed in the world. In Amar Lefanim, what do you say? Rebbeinu Shalom. Lo kel chavetz rashata lo yigurcha ra. Right, in other words, you're not a God who wants rasha, rishus, right? You don't want the wicked or bad in this world, right? Tzaddik Hashem lo yigurcha ra. Right, you shouldn't have bad things living by you. In other words, this bad stuff, these nature of destruction, that shouldn't be in the Shemaim, the Rakia. Rather, it should be down in the land. Where do we see that this machon is called Shemaim? The chsiv. V'ata tishba shemayim machon shiftach. So it says over there that you hear from the machon, right, the foundation of shiftach, as we see it's in the shemayim. And the last one that was the aravos, right, the plains, right, Shabbat, Tzedek, Mishpat, Tzedakah. So this is the good place. This is the 7th. Over there was the Tzedek, the righteousness and justice, and tzedakah, right, and charity, and ginzei chaim, and ginzei shalom, the ginzei bracha, and different treasures of life, of peace, of blessing. The shemasan shel tzedikim, the shamas of tzedikim, v'ruchas, and the shamas shasim, the yibaros, and also the different spirits and the shamas in the future, right, it will be created. But tal shasim hakadosh baruch hu la'achiyos b'meisim, and also the dew, right, that would be used to be b'chai meisim. To bring back the dead. It's tzedek u'mishpat, and righteousness, and mishpat and justice. The chsiv tzedek u'mishpat mechon kisecha. Right, that was the first one. So now we're going to go bring the psukim for the source for all of them. So it says, right, that the tzedek u'mishpat mechon kisecha. Those are the by your thrones, the foundation. So we see tzedek u'mishpat is the foundation, i.e., by his throne is up there, and on the top level 7, and tzedakah. The pasuk says, "Vayuba saka kashirion." It says over there, and he will wear the tzedakah like his armor. And ginzei chayim, the chsiv ki imcha mikor chayim. That's the source of life. The ginzei shalom, the chsiv vayikra lo Hashem shalom. Shalom is with Hashem. The ginze bracha, the chsiv yisa bracha meis Hashem, right? They will receive bracha from Hashem. So all these things are with Hashem. Nishmas and tzadikim, the chsiv pasuk says v'haisa nevesh adoni tzarura b'tzura chaim es Hashem lokecha. So it says over there, they'll be bound by life. So you see that there, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Ruchos, the Shosh Shasi, the Ibaros, the Chassid, the pasuk says, will be the future to be created. Ki Ruach milifnei Yaatov Neshamos ani asisi. So it says over there, right, that that Hakadosh Baruch Hu will make them. So we see that the Ruach of these spirits are with Hakadosh Baruch Hu prior to the making. They will be in the seventh level. The Tal Shasi, Hakadosh Baruch Hu la'chiyais ba'amesim. The Chassid, the pasuk says, Geshem nedavos tani felokim. Nachlaska vanila ata konanta. So it says over there that a rain, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, a rain of Nadava, or giving rain. In other words, then it will go ahead and it will establish. In other words, from this rain, it will establish the Tchias Amesim and Shamafanim, the Strafim, Hakadosh Malach Yashar. It's over there also are the different the Strafim, the Ofanim, the Chayes Kodesh, different types of Malachim and angels that are by Hakadosh Baruch Hu, the Chisei Hakavod and Melach Kel Ram and Isa. Sheikhein Aleim and Hakadosh Baruch Hu, he himself, the Melech Kel Ramanisa is sitting up there. Shnamar Solu La Roiched Barabais Beka Shema. They're over there. Hakadosh Baruch Hu is in the plains. He's in the Arabais, and Hashem is his name. Where is this called Shemaim? So Asya Rechiva Rechiva. Look at Hashem says Rechiva Rechiva Hacha Solu Racha Barabais. Says over there Barabas. Ksiv Hasam says there Roichev Shemaim Bezracha. So it's the same word Roichev. He rides upon the Shemaim the Bezracha to help you. And there's darkness around him. So it says that he makes darkness around it, and the darkness also of the clouds of the heavens. So, is there darkness by Laksiv? Hugala amikasa mistarasa yadam bechashocha unara amishara. So it says there, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he knows, he sees all the depths, and he knows he was in the darkness, and he sees clearly through. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees everything clear. So where's this darkness? So like Kashias, the verse is no that contradiction. In the inner chambers, that's where everything is clear. That's where you can see through the nations, everything. But however, outside, beyond the outer houses, that's where the darkness is. And we'll stop here. Shkech, everybody. Tomorrow, Mr. Shem.